Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to switch it up a bit where I'm not going to give an update on the markets. You all heard from Claire last week, who did a fantastic job talking about where we began the year, the headwinds, tailwinds, catalysts that drove us to where we are today. So instead, I'm going to review the recently approved tax bill that many of you may have heard of. It's been nicknamed One Big Beautiful Bill. There was over 35 changes. I'm just going to review a few of them today and the ones that I think will relate to you most. Let's start with this standard deduction. There's not a huge change here, but the deduction was increased, and that is important. Right now, around 90% of taxpayers take the standard deduction opposed to itemizing, and it's typically the biggest deduction that they'll receive. So an opportunity here to shield more income from tax, which is always a good thing. Next up, tax brackets. The brackets themselves have been adjusted, which isn't new, but what's worth highlighting here is the top rate, 37%, is now permanent. It's no longer scheduled to expire or sunset in the future. So this will give us some more clarity and help with planning, and this will help high earners and business owners. One of the more noticeable changes is to the state and local tax deduction, also known as SALT. The caps increase from 10,000 to 40,000, and that's for people who itemize. In the past, you were capped at $10,000, meaning you could not deduct more than $10,000 of even just property tax alone. However, this does phase out, which starts at 500,000 of income, completely phases out after $600,000, reverting to that $10,000 cap. So people that have itemized in the past may be able to deduct more taxes, and specifically if their property tax is over $10,000, they will be able to capture all of that. So we also may see more people itemize that have not been able to in the past. Now let's talk about Social Security and the new deduction for those over the age of 65. First of all, we've received a lot of questions about whether or not there's been a change to Social Security taxes or the way that it's taxed. And the answer is no. The calculation of taxes with Social Security stays the same. What's new here is the additional deduction for these taxpayers 65 and up. They'll receive up to an additional $6,000 per person, which is $12,000 for couples. This is in addition to the existing $1,600 standard deduction already in place. However, this does phase out for couples above $150,000. What's worth highlighting here is that this is an above the line deduction, meaning you'll receive this whether or not you are itemizing your taxes. As a result of this, we'll probably see 9 out of 10 people will not owe tax on Social Security. You'll see here just a table on the overall deductions. And what I want to point out here is the maximum deduction for couples 65 and up. This is a significant increase from previous years. Next up, we're going to quickly review the Trump accounts. So each of these accounts will start with a $1,000 federal deposit. And the total contribution in any given year to this account is $5,000, which can come from parents, grandparents, or even siblings. Funds can be used tax-free for education and also on first-time home purchases. So the idea behind these accounts was to encourage savings as early as possible and really capture the benefit of long-term compound growth. Some people have asked, should they be using these accounts for their children? Well, there may be a better alternative, such as a 529 or a custodial account, depending on what your goals are. However, it can definitely complement existing investment accounts at a minimum. So if you're not sure if it is the right account or if there is a better account for your child, feel free to reach out. We'll go over those different options and see what makes the most sense. There's also been a small change for business owners and self-employed individuals, and that's with the qualified business interest deduction. There's been a 20% deduction in place, which has not changed. What's changed here are the phase-in ranges. They have expanded. So overall, this will help business owners, more business owners benefit from the deduction. So some may not have been able to in the past or phased out quickly. This will help them. Next, I'm going to go over the changes to the charitable deductions. So previously, your charitable contributions could be deducted if you itemized, and if you took the standard deduction, couples could deduct $600 above the line. That has been increased to $2,000, again, even if you do not itemize or receive that benefit. For those that itemize, there has been a floor put in place, and that is permanent. So what that floor means is that you can only deduct charitable contributions that exceed half of 1% of your adjusted gross income. Again, that is the floor. So if you don't itemize, this will help you out. You'll be able to now deduct $2,000 above the line, whereas previously you could only do $600. And finally, last topic here is the estate and gift tax exemption. This exemption has been raised from about 26 million per couple to 30 million, and that's now a permanent change, just like the others. This provides more certainty for high net worth families and business owners looking to transfer wealth. We will see less people run into gifting and estate tax problems that want to pass on wealth or leave wealth behind. So this wraps up the walkthrough. As you can see, many changes here, and we only touched upon a few of them. There are additional ways to save, deduct taxes, new types of accounts. So if you have any questions on anything I just went over or any of the other tax laws that you've read about, feel free to reach out. Even if your family, friends have any questions or are unsure if they are impacted by this bill, or if they think they're impacted but they're not exactly sure how, we're happy to go over that. So feel free to reach out anytime. But thanks again for tuning in today, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care.